Alright everybody, this is the one. We've got a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it in. So let's make sure he doesn't walk out of this one with a win. Let's go!
Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and welcome to the final game of the group stages of PPL NX. Yes indeed, we are at 2-2 going into this final game, and we have to take on Elfowls and the Newport Noctowls. Their links down in the description below. Make sure you check them out. They're a wonderful player who has reached the semi-finals, I believe, of NBC league that we're in as well. So yeah, they're a good player. They're a very good player, and they've got a very spooky, scary rain team with Archaludon, Clefable, Thundurus Incarnate, Pelipper, Necrozma, Barraskewda, Toedscruel, Revavroom, Hitmontop, Crawdaunt, Mousehold, and Sunflora. So, who do we have to go against the rain? Well, we have a game plan here. Starting off with Air Balloon Iron Treads. Very quick, very specially defensive, with Earthquake, Volt Switch, Rapid Spin, and Stealth Rock. Mostly here to try and take on the Revavroom. That thing can be a very, very nasty setup sweeper. And we don't want any part of it, really. So yeah, Iron Treads looking to try and isolate and 1v1 that little guy. Then we have the mainstay of this team, and that is Choice Specs Primarina. Max Special Attack, Modest Choice Specs, Moonblast, Hydro Pump, Flip Turn, and Perish Song. Flip Turn, kind of good for just getting out of tight spots. Perish Song is there because we are clicking Moonblast in this game. That's it. That's the tweet. We're clicking Moonblast. There is exactly one resistance to Moonblast, and that is Revavroom, for which we have Iron Treads. You'll notice with this team, it is literally all about getting initiative into Primarina and clicking Moonblast. That is the game plan, because Primarina can do vast amounts of damage to everything here. So yeah, that's basically the thinking behind that. And if Revavroom is here, I guess we can click Hydro Pump in the rain and one-shot that. So yeah, that's that. Next up, we have speedy, physically defensive Rocky Helmet Ogerpon with Ivy Cudgel, U-Turn, Leech Seed, and Spiky Shield. The main answer, hopefully, to that Barraskewda should it show. We can take at least one hit of its Poison Jab. We can certainly take multiple Waterfalls. Get some Rocky Helmet damage, Ivy Cudgel, and maybe even just U-Turn on out of there. If they want to get out with Barraskewda, go into a slower, bulky thing. We U-Turn into Primarina, wash, rinse, repeat. Then we have Focus Sash Hydreigon, just in case. The Rocks situation on my opponent's side is good, but we have a very reliable spinner. So hopefully we can keep that Sash intact. Draco Meteor, Dark Pulse, Earth Power, and the U-Turn is on there as well. Then we have, Flame Orb, Quick Feet, Jolteon, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Alluring Voice, and Fake Tears. Yes! We're getting a bit experimental here. With the Quick Feet boost, this will be outspeeding Barraskewda in rain, which is useful. Thunderbolt is fairly free into my opponent's squad. It's only the Toedscruel that is immune to it. Resistance is in the form of Archaludon and the Sunflora. But we have Fake Tears to try and get around the Archaludon, the Clefable that might be unaware, but not for its own stuff, and indeed the Toedscruel and other specially bulky things. Final member of the team is going to be the debuting Passimian. We have a Piappa Berry Passimian here. It is a Trailblaze set with Defiance. This hopefully will take at least one hit from Necrozma. That's why the Piappa Berry is there, but this is kind of an endgame secondary option. If things are super weakened, we can bring in, get a Trailblaze off. Hopefully by then the rain is gone, so we don't have to worry about Swift Swim Barraskewda. And, you know, this thing has good natural physical bulk, so we should be able to take a hit here or there. Get a Trailblaze off, take a Photon Geyser from Necrozma with a Piappa Berry, and start doing some damage. So that is the team we are working with. Let's get into the team matchup stuff, battle thing, and see what Elfowls have decided to bring against us. So, here we go. PPL NX final group stage battle against Elfowls. They have decided to bring Archaludon, Clefable, Thundurus Incarnate, Pelipper, Necrozma, and Barraskewda. So it is just a top 6 situation. However, there is no immunity to Electric, which is super nice. And I don't think the Barraskewda is going to be leading, funnily enough. So I am just going to actually lead with my Jolteon here and try and get some early initiative if possible. So here we go, PPL NX Battle 5 against Elfowls. They are right there and going to be leading with the Archaludon, as I'm just going to go with Jolteon. Now, I'm fairly confident that I can live any given hit from this guy. And I want to show a bit of tech and ideally get that Flame Orb activated as quick as possible so I don't have to worry about Barraskewda in rain, at least in the case of revenging it. So what I'm actually going to do here is just show the tech. I'm going to go for Fake Tears. I don't anticipate this is going to do all that much to me. I'm kind of anticipating rocks. So I'm just going to go for a Fake Tears Volt Switch combination and see if we can get some early damage onto our Archaludon. So here comes the Fake Tears, which is cool. Now the Archaludon is at -2 special defense and we do see Stealth Rock. So there is no Assault Vest to mitigate that drop. Right now I don't know whether they're going to want to stay in as my Flame Orb activates. But there's nothing that ideally wants to take the Volt Switch. So what I'm going to do is exactly that. I'm just going to Volt Switch on out of there and try and reposition better against either this or whatever Elfowls wants to go into. So, going to go for the Volt Switch, and that is going to do a good amount of damage to this Archaludon, actually. It gets the defense boost from Stamina, but that's fine. We've got a nice little chunk of damage onto it, and now I have to go into something to take it on. Now, Iron Treads was kind of brought for something or a few things that aren't here. So I'm a bit more free to work around getting rocks up and rapid spin and be a little sort of free and breezy with this Iron Treads. So that's looking like what I'm going to go into. I think I can pretty much live any one hit. If he wants to go for a ground type move here, then I'll be immune to it with my Air Balloon. So yeah, Treads is going to be the play. So in comes the Iron Treads on its Air Balloon. And in from my opponent is going to come Draco Meteor. Now that is going to do a nominal amount of damage, not a massive amount, not a terrible amount. And now I'm wondering if they're going to want to switch on out. I am considering either rocks or maybe even an Earthquake or a spin. Earthquake won't be doing too much. It is at +1 defense, so there's no guarantee that it's actually going to KO. And realistically, getting rocks up is going to be useful for getting chip damage on a team that's looking like it's going to want to initiative around. So rocks are going to be my play here. I should be outspeeding at the very least. And hopefully, looking at my opponent's team, they'll be there to stay. So rocks is going to be my play. They are now up on both sides of the field, and hopefully I can get a spin off afterwards. And that is not going to come to pass because Body Press just bodies me. Down goes Iron Treads, but we do get rocks up. Early lead for Elfowls. But while no Revavroom is bad in the case of my Iron Treads, it does mean that my opponent has brought absolutely no resistances to Moonblast. So I'm going to go into Primarina, and I'm going to click Moonblast. And right now, something is dying. Now I'm prepped to outpace an uninvested Archaludon. This is a quick Primarina. So they don't want to take this hit. Elfowls is going to go into Pelipper, who is going to take the rocks damage. It is going to set up the rain with Drizzle, and I am going to go for Moonblast, and it is dead. This was what I wanted this team to do. Get initiative, even if it's on a down, that's fine. Primarina comes in and basically just claims a kill. So Pelipper is gone, and once that rain runs out, it's gone for good, which is huge, massive for me. The combination of Primarina and Jolteon with no immunities or resistances to their stabs is looking like it might serve me quite well here. Now, in comes the Thundurus, which can certainly put an end to my fun temporarily with Primarina. I don't have all that much that wants to take on the Thundurus, but Hydreigon should be a decent enough switch in, and with rocks up on my side there to stay, there's no point trying to maintain a focus sash, it's just not going to work. So Hydreigon is going to be the switch in here. Try and take a hit from Thundurus, force it out, maybe get another U-turn off into my Primarina, and try and snag another. So Primarina is going to be called back, of course. We are going to go into Hydreigon to try and take any one given hit from this Thundurus.
So, understood, sir. Alright, let's get the paralysis going. We want to make this one a double, okay? Make sure that Hydreigon does not move.
Take the rocks damage, that's fine. In comes Thunder in the Rain. Good bring on Elfowls' part. It's not going to do a whole huge amount of damage. And of course, we get paralyzed. That is not great. However, there is a silver lining to this. Because now I'm definitely slower than a lot of things on Elfowls' team. And that means slow initiative. And that means Moonblast Primarina. So, U-turn is going to come in here. Do a nominal amount, but it's not going to take us out. This is looking like a decent position to be in, because Clefable is the clear and obvious choice to be coming in to take a hit from Hydreigon. And what do you know, there indeed is that Clefable. It takes the rocks damage so it's unaware, and we get fully paralysed on the U-turn. That is not good, not happy about that at all. But at this point I'm thinking, it's probably fine to just stay in and go for U-turn again. If they set up a Calm Mind, it's still going to take a massive hit from Primarina. And if they go for an attack, we bring in Primarina. So I'm going to click U-turn again. Here comes the knockoff, over-predicting my switch out. And as you'll see, we're going to get paralysed again. I was not happy. I mean, nothing against Elfowls. They went for a Thunder. They weren't looking for a power. They were just looking for damage. Moonblast is eventually going to clean out the Hydreigon, but a little bit unhappy with how it went. And I've lost a Death Fodder at this point, which is a little bit unfortunate. But hey, guess what? It's time for Primarina to come in and kill something. Yeah, this is a foregone conclusion. Something is dying here because I'm clicking Moonblast and there are no resistances. Something is dying. That's just an end of it. So Elfowls gets to play my favourite game, pick Primarina fodder, and as you'll see, it is going to be the Arcanodon. It's going to take the hit neutrally, although that's technically a bit of a lie, a misnomer, because it's not going to take the hit at all. Moonblast comes in and Arcanodon drops, which is good news for me. Primarina picks up a second KO. And the plan is kind of working. There's been a few hiccups along the road, but the plan is kind of working. We get in Primarina and something dies. So now in comes the Barraskewda. It takes the rocks damage, there's no boots there. I would anticipate this to be choice banded. But I do have to pick something to go into to take the hit and probably die before I can go into Jolteon to revenge it / force it out. I don't have a lot of options for this, really. If I still had Hydreigon left, that's what I'd be going into. But I don't. That's a problem. So, needing Jolteon and needing Primarina means that it's going to be either Ogerpon or Persimmon. And Ogerpon is meant to at least take a hit from Barraskewda, but it probably doesn't take two, especially since I'm kind of predicting Poison Jab to come out here to cover both. So, it's going to have to be Persimmon to come in here and try and take the hit. So, Primarina going to get on out of dodge, and it is finally going to be a debut this season for Persimmon, coming in, hitting the field, taking the rocks damage, and taking a liquidation to the face and immediately dying. Not quite the debut I was hoping for. Bit unfortunate. Banded in the rain, what are you going to do? But with the rain still up and Barraskewda still in, it's going to be either Jolteon or Ogerpon to come in here and finish things off. I don't want to take a liquidation to the face with Primarina. I want to keep it at as much health as possible, ideally. So it's either going to be the Jolteon or the Ogerpon. And it is going to be the Ogerpon who comes in. Now, the rain is going to be going away very soon. But even so, this is a banded Barraskewda very clearly, and I thought there is every chance that they might want to save this. And I can try and do my thing of U-turning into Primarina on a potential Clefable switch and killing a thing dead. And there's also the opportunity for them to go into the Thundurus here on my early Cudgel, at which point I could U-turn into Jolteon and try and get even more damage. So I am going to go for the U-turn here, hoping to see this fish switch out. The fish does not switch out. Elfowls wants to make the most of their rain turns and does a lot of damage to my Ogerpon. I should have just clicked Ivy Cudgel, I really ought to have done. Now is when I go for U-turn. Do not take out this Barraskewda, which is very unfortunate for me, and means I have to go into my Jolteon here, which is exactly what I do. I believe the rain is going to run out here anyway, so my quick feet is not actually going to make any difference, but at least it's going to guarantee that I outspeed any rogue Scarfers they might have kicking around. And at this point, I'm free to just click Volt Switch on something, and maybe even go into Primarina and click a button. So, they are going to get out of there with the Barrascuda. Don't want to sack it off just yet. And in is going to come Bubblegum. It's Clefable time. As we go for the Volt Switch. Taking the Bubblegum to half health, but here is some very, very good tech and well played on Elfowls' part, because it is the eject button that is going to go off and mean that I can't get my initiative into my Primarina. It would have been putting me in a great spot if I'd have been able to do that, but unfortunately now Elfowls is going to get that all-important initiative and use my game plan against me. And now in comes the Necrozma, one of Elfowls' absolute MVPs. Now I absolutely cannot take this thing out from full. My play here is to Volt Switch and scout out what kind of investment we are looking at on this thing. Potentially then go into Ogerpon to sack it off. Because I still want to use Primarina, I can still see usage for it, and between Prim and Jolteon we might be able to see this game out. So I am going to go for the Volt Switch here. As you'll see, that's going to come in, and that is going to do a good amount of damage. It's looking like this thing does not have a great amount of investment. It could be physically defensive. I am going to go into my Ogerpon though, and sort of sack that off, so that I can position myself better and try and endgame this with Jolteon and Primarina. So, in comes Ogerpon. Going to hit the field, take those rocks damage, and in comes Photon Geyser from the Necrozma. That is going to take out my Ogerpon. Unfortunate, Ogerpon really hasn't done anything this season, just apart from getting some chip damage here and there. Now here, I make a very silly play, because whilst there's the chance that this is a physically defensive spread, with like special attack investment, what I should have done was played it as safe as poss, and realised that this could very well be a very speedy Necrozma. If it's non-speed invested Necrozma, I will outpace with Primarina here and kill it. What I should have done was gone into Jolteon and Volt Switched into Prim and tried to win with Jolteon instead, because there's every chance with the pieces they had left that I could do that. With Clefable at half, Thundurus and the Barrascuda that I outpace. What I choose to do here, as you'll see, is go into my Primarina and hope that this thing has no speed investment and is a bulkier spread of Necrozma. And I was kind of just relying on that, hoping that I could outspeed, pick up another kill, and then force in probably the Thundurus, and then I'd have to try and win from there. As you'll see, that does not work, because the Necrozma is speedy, it outpaces, and it's going to go for that Photon Geyser and take out my Prim, and now all I have left is the Jolteon. Now, Jolteon will fall to any given hit from this Necrozma. All I really can do here is go for Thunderbolt and hope for a para into full para, just like what happened to my Hydreigon.
Excellent. Alright, good work everyone. I'll be reporting this in. Sir, it looks like we're going to get another loss. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll make sure it's as bad as possible. He's not getting any differential from this one. Understood. Over and out.
So, in comes the Thunderbolt. It is not quite going to kill, and we don't get the para. This thing is packing Earthquake. That's going to take out Jolteon. Down it goes. Necrozma finish these things up, and that is going to be the game. So yeah, good game to Elfowls. They played a very good one there with some really interesting tech that really helped save the game. That Clefable with the eject button was the big saver of the game there, I think, because Prim was all set to put on an absolute ton of pressure at that point. But Clefable really turned the tides, used my my strategy against me. So yeah, very well played to Elfowls. Their links down in the description. Make sure you check them out. So we're 2-3 with a very bad differential. 2 big losses in a row has not put us in a great position. But the story does not end there. The journey is not over, because that is the group stages out of the way, and now we move into single elimination tournament brackets. There is still a chance for us to do some work in stage 1 of PPL NX. A lot more videos from other divisions to go up, so keep an eye out for them. And we'll be back in a number of weeks, I imagine, to get some single elim tournament brackets going on. Who are our opponents going to be? That is yet to be decided. But that's a story for another time. I'm getting out of here. I've rambled on far too long, so my final thank you to you all for watching. And I guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.